Hi, I'm Шу Янг Лінь. I'm the re-architect of BITIS. I'm really glad to be here virtually in the Personal Democracy Forum in Ukraine and to be able to share with you about the topic of today, democracy from the future, Taiwan. So, after Sunflower Movement took place in March of 2014, Minister Jacqueline Tsai came to one of the GovZero hackathons and proposed to have a platform for rational discussion. Then the GovZero community took this idea and created VTaiwan in just a couple of weeks. VTaiwan is a consultation process to solve complex problems or public controversial issues. It brings stakeholders including government ministries, elected representatives, scholars, business leaders, and the general public. It also uses digital tools to facilitate online deliberation. So the process helps lawmakers to implement decisions with a greater degree of legitimacy. And Polis is one of the tools that VTaiwan used for opinion collection. It allows users to comment their thoughts and feelings, vote for other comments, and its algorithm learns and computes different points of controversy, as well as a majority consensus. So, if we look at VTaiwan a bit closer, step by step, it looks like a shape of double diamond, just like a design thinking process, because oftentimes it has two sets of divergence and convergence, sometimes could be more or less. Let's start from the beginning. At the initial divergence stage, where we try to reach as many stakeholders as possible using, for example, Polis, Typeform, or other kinds of rolling survey tools, people would debate on the platform or express their ideas and feelings, so we will have a chance to understand what are the region of interest in these issues. Then on the second stage, we'll have the first convergence also, where we use online discussion forums or synthesized documents to try to work out what exactly are the issues at dispute here. Then we have to invite the stakeholders into a face-to-face consultation meeting, which is live streamed online, so that people can still bring different ideas, no matter they're online or offline users. The result of that meeting will be summarized into a draft of action or bill that is co-written by non-governmental and governmental stakeholders. Then in the end, the draft will be submitted to executive and legislative branches in the government. So let's make one example to go through the entire VTaiwan process. When Uber X came to VTaiwan, Polis was first used for stakeholder discovery. Its interface actually helps a lot on exchanging ideas and facilitating the formation of different opinion groups. After we used Polis, we found out the need to regulate Uber and protect established private and public transportation was agreed among all stakeholders. So here we can see a follow-up consultation meeting inviting all stakeholders such as Taipei Taxi Association, some people from Uber, Uber's representatives, the governmental officials and from different ministries, and more active online users to join this face-to-face meeting, which is also entirely live streamed over the internet. Then the stakeholders actually, after the meeting, we summarized that the stakeholders agreed that Uber had to comply with Taiwanese demands of insurance and driver training. And also not only Uber, existing service also had to agree to broaden their services in response to market demands. So the result of Uber case on VTaiwan is that Uber agrees to follow taxes and regulations that are deliberated from VTaiwan, and the taxi association or other existing services also agree to work with Uber and improve their services. Now, the VTaiwan was inspired in the beginning by regulation room from Cornell. It also implements open government partnerships, 3 pillars of open government, that is transparency, participation, and accountability. We have institutionalized all of them, and now we are moving forward and proposing a 4th pillar, that is inclusion. So if we look at the latest project we're building in Peters right now, it's a virtual space for immersive deliberation called Holopolis. Holo stands for the mixed reality environment, and Polis stands for the AI tools that helps visualizing online consensus in 3D space. People entering Holopolis environment will have direct access to an immersive deliberation experiences. They can choose the topics they are interested in, such as, for example, whether it's okay to sell alcohol online, or how unmanned vehicles should be regulated, and so on. So the Holopolis environment also creates various media, including text input, voice input, video replay, or animation simulation. This virtual environment will welcome people with different kinds of learning inclinations to participate and contribute freely in the ways they are most comfortable with. Now, in the following slides, I'd like to step a bit back and share a little bit of background about Taiwan. We know the digital era has brought us new forms of democracy. We are capable of responding faster, reaching more people, and listening to more diverse voices. Right, so Taiwan actually has its interesting background where the growth of democracy actually coincides strongly with the advancement of technology. We know the martial law was only lifted exactly 30 years ago in 1987, and then in 1989, the year freedom of speech was granted. It is also about the same time when personal computers arrived. In the 1990s, World Wide Web became popular and more widespread, and it's also the same time when 1996, we just had our first presidential election. Again, the use of technology and the attitude of embracing new digital tools for our democratic system accelerates our democracy and push forwards our democratic milestones. The environment incubates the GovZero movement. GovZero is a decentralized civic tech community in Taiwan. We build tech solutions for citizens to participate in public affairs from the bottom up. The initial motto of GovZero was the idea of forking the government. We try to make our own version of every governmental website and simply replace the URL of .gov.tw to .g0v.tw and simply just make it better. Few examples, such as visualizing the budget spending reports by the government from merely a stack of documents with numbers and forms. Hackers and designers in the GovZero community turned abstract data to a more interactive and a more readable interface, and open license the project also. Another example, Moedic, is another example when one of the Taiwanese researchers in Google who was working in the States at that time, but still looking for materials to teach his kids how to write Chinese characters. He then joined one of the GovZero hackathons remotely, and together with the local hackers, they fixed bugs and issues for the Ministry of Education's online dictionary, and then also open licensed the project. The Open Data Portal was another example. When the GovZero community came in, simply fork the data.gov.tw and then create a better version of it called data.g0v.tw. Then it has a better searching mechanism, a more clearer term of use. And finally, it was merged back to the official website of data.gov.tw again in 2017. While GovZero has become mature and developed a civic tech environment, there's another community in Taiwan, on the other hand, has worked on the development of public deliberation. Public deliberation was not a new thing in Taiwan at that time. Several formats of it have been developed in the past decades. The first one was in 2002 about national healthcare insurance. Then its form evolved from face-to-face deliberation in workshops to a public debate on TV in 2006. And then in 2008, the forum became to online deliberation over the internet. Now, the recent change of focus on deliberation was inspired by the Sunflower Movement in 2014, when the protesting students demonstrated deep deliberation with the help of information technology. It actually pictured a real-world deliberation with the help of ambient computing technologies. Sunflower Movement that time took place in March of 2014, when Taiwanese government was signing a service trade contract with Beijing office in China. The government, the parliament, refused to deliberate because in our constitution, Beijing is actually part of Taiwan, and they have no say on signing contract deal between two domestic cities, while most of the citizens in Taiwan thought differently. And so our students did something very interesting. They entered the parliament at night and occupied it for as long as 22 days. In a radically non-violent way, they were doing deliberation inside. The second day of Occupy, GovZero community came in with cables, computers, and cameras, started to help by simply live streaming the entire process to the world. Our citizens in Taiwan walk on street not only with signs but also with post-its. People were forming smaller groups and started to demonstrate deep deliberation. Again, more civic hackers donated their devices and started filming, so it is transparent, participative, and accountable. This wrote a milestone when protesters are self-media. There's no chance to have biased interview by other media because all raw videos were already uploaded to the cloud. It was also one of those very rare occupies that by the end of the 3 weeks, everybody converged on a set of consensus which the members of the parliament then bought in. It was a victory. After the Sunflower Movement, the government didn't went back to work in their silos. Minister Jacqueline Tsai came to GovZero and pitched an idea in a hackathon. She said, "We need to have a platform to allow the entire society to engage in rational discussion." And that wraps back to the story from the beginning of the slides, the launch of VTaiwan. I'd like to use the last slide to sketch out how digital transformation affects Taiwan's democratic system, with the relationship between public sectors and civil society, linked by public service and civil participation. So, digital tools actually facilitate a more fluid circulation, where it is easier to participate, more transparent, which leads to a more reflective democratic system. The public service should also embrace digital tools, embrace the technology. But it is extremely important also to use the technology not only in front of the system maintainer, meaning the public servants, but really the key is to also use the technology with them, with the public servants, so that we can dream about a working system, a working democratic system that keep the entire society collaborative and creative. Thank you.